Shalom, everybody. I want to welcome you all to Yeshua's Sabbath Church Hebrew Alphabet class. We are in session 3. The other 2 sessions can be found on the website, or at least links to them can be found on the website, yeshuassabbathchurch.com. For everybody's edification and amazement, we're using this here book. This here. So, it looks kind of like we left off in last week's Great Adventure on page 18, so we are now at page 19. Top of the page. And the top of the page, this is lesson 8. The top of the page shows us we'll just ignore the new vowels, the new letters for the moment. We don't need that yet. However, we want to go and review the letters you know. Hebrew is written and read from the right to the left, so let's start there. What is the name of that letter? Bet. This one is a vet. This is a B sound, B, and this is a V sound, V. Next one. This is a resh. Resh, it has an R sound. Daled or dalet, as you prefer. It's a D sound. This is a shin, and we know it's a shin because the dot is on the right-hand side. And it has a sh, an SH sound. This one is a sin or a seen, and we know that because the dot is on the left-hand side. And it has an S sound. These are the same letter. They're called a tav, last letter of the Aleph-Bet, and the sound is a T in both cases. The difference being this dot here called a dagish. All right. This letter is a mem, M-E-M, and its final letter, if it's at the end of a word, we have that thing called a mem sophete. Mem sophete or final mem. This one is a lamed. It's an L sound. Also one of the tallest letters because of this little thingy right here. This can go way up someplace. It may also look like that once in a while, where the top tail thing is laid on its side for more room. This letter here is this consonant is a yud. My pronunciation. Others pronounce it yod. And it is a Y sound. The word Yisrael begins with a yud, so does Yeshua. This is another V sound. It is a vav. Oh, I don't want to use red for that. I'm going to use blue. The final N, the nun sophete, extends below the line, maybe a little bit more than that. And it is an N at the end, or a nun at the end of a word. That was easy. Vowels. Place a vowel under a letter, and now you can pronounce the letter or the consonant. So if we put this is called a tire. This tire, or these, it sounds A-Y, A. This would be pronounced bay. Okay? These two are ah sounds. This is a patak, and that's a kamatz for your edification and amazement. And if we put a kamatz under that one, it would be, oh, not in Hebrew, you want it in English, va. Okay? Easy so far? The consonant vav becomes a vowel. It's called a vowel consonant. And the one, if you draw the vav, let's put some lines here so we can see what it looks like on a lined page. Draw the vav, it's in the line, and the dot is at the top. That makes an O sound. Vavim kolam, but you don't need to know that. And if it's, the dot is in the middle like that, it's an oo sound, like zoo. So this would be go, this would be zoo. All right? That was easy? Sure it was. A piece of cake. We'll just keep going back over these pages on each lesson and review each letter. You're going to have to know the letters. If nothing else, I didn't bring any with me, flashcards. Get a big old thing of 3x5 cards from Walmart. Big magic marker. Draw each of the letters large so you can see them. Okay. That was page 819, so I'm going to do it again. What? Don't give me a hard time. I've had nothing but trouble today with software. What would you just do? My goodness. Okay. We're back to lesson 8. Our new letters are on the top right-hand side of the page. This letter is called an Aleph. Which happens to be the first letter, which is why it's called Aleph-Bet, and why it's called Yeshua is the Aleph Tav. He's not the Alpha Omega because he didn't speak Greek. He's the Aleph Tav, and the Tav is right there. Okay. This is called an Ein. Is that how it's spelled? I don't remember. Oh. Nope. Ein. And neither one of these has a sound. They are a placeholder for a vowel. Or in some cases, they're just there to sort of allow you to pause when you say the word. That's all. They hold a vowel. And this is a shava. I'll phonetically spell it. Sha. Va. And its pronunciation is eh. Okay? Eh. I can't think of anything funny to say. Sorry. That's it. And it's also kind of important because we'll see how it works. I want to look at this. We don't have any of the Shava use yet, but down here on page 19, lines 4 and 5, we're using the Ein and the Aleph. So this word, the Ein has no pronunciation, so we simply pronounce the vowel, and the vowel is ah, and then there's a mem, so that's hang on a second. Let's, I don't like things that small. You like it that large? Yes.
At the top of page 19, it says the
The Shava is silent unless it's an ah or an eh sound. Okay? It's not always silent. We'll see. We'll get those words. It's better in that case to use a word. So that's not on to page 20 or something. Okay, let's do this. With the Ein, I said held a space. Ah, so that's A-H-A-M. The mem Sophie. This is a ah sound, the kamats under the Alephs, therefore that's an ah, and that's a nun or an n sound, so that must be on. Okay, nonsense syllables. This is not pronounced at all. This Aleph in this particular word right here, it's just there. It has to be there for grammar reasons. So it's not, it's not some, whoa, what's that now? Just ignore it. Don't worry about it. It's not a problem. But we pronounce the O right next to it, this Vavim Kolam, and that is Om. Okay? Om. Nope. That'd be another thing. Actually, we could make it an H by doing this and call it Om, but you don't know that yet. Oops. Om. This Aleph is pronounced with the Tzurei underneath it, so that must be an A-Y-M, aim. And this one is a Y-N, ain. And then it gives you another part of the exercise on 5, and you're supposed to fill in the sounds, and this would be odd. We would spell that as, in English, right? The word odd, but this is how it's spelled in Hebrew. Odd. And this is or, light, okay? And that is O-R. Or I should say maybe OHR, because our English, when we see OH, we always pronounce it as an O sound. Most people like to pronounce an O as a ah kind of a sound, whatever. Or, that's light anyway, ot and ale and eight and alm. Wait a minute. All. Got to write that one out. All. You didn't catch that? Ot. Ale. Eight. I ate that. I ate the whole thing. We had corn on the cob here. I ate some of that. No, that's another word. So if we went to page 20, and we got to line 6, or exercise 6, we would see this word right here. Now, you remember last week we talked about that vowel right there. If we wrote this, you know that is an O sound. Yes? We all know that's an O. Well, it's right there, except they don't put the vav in. It's still an O sound. We had that little bit of exercise. Technically, this word could be written out as like that, technically. But anyway, it's pronounced. This is a syllable, row. This is just a space holder. And it's grammar rules force it to be there. And then this is the sh. So the word is Rosh. Now we see this as Rosh Kodesh. Well, it ain't no Rash. It's Rosh Kodesh. Okay? That's Rosh. And we slide down here. There's another one of those places where we have the space holder holding a space and not really doing anything. This is the syllables. And this is pronounced O. And then this is the second syllable, and it's pronounced Lam. So it's pronounced Olam. Universe. We always say in our blessing, Olam. Melech ha-Olam. The king of the Olam. Okay. We go down here to using the Shiva on line 9. If I put the Shiva, let's use purple. There, this is pronounced Ve. And you're going to see a vav with the shva underneath it a lot as a prefix to many, 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 many words. You can also see the bet as a prefix, and it'll have the shava. Those two dots show up? Oh, okay, good. And it's pronounced be. Be. That'll be a prefix. And this is pronounced le. And this shin or shin is she. And that would be another hard one. De. Okay? That was pretty easy. Now, you'll see those. I want to move to page 22. Okay. Now let's go to 20. Let's go to 21. And on 21, down about line 7, way down near the bottom of the page, way down here, we've got a word designed for confusion. Actually, it's a vowel. You'll see under this Aleph, this vowel has a name, and you don't need to know what it is. It is pronounced, I won't use that color. Let's use orange. Ah. Even though somehow you got to twist your tongue to pronounce ah or something like that, no, it's just an ah. So this word is actually ah. Put a space there for you. Aval. Okay? There's grammar reasons to have that there, along with several other variations of it, but you pronounce the patak, the ah sound, and just don't worry about that other thing for pronunciation purposes. All righty? Okay, we did that. Let's go to page 22 where we got some actual words. The entire page of page 22 is words. Isn't that nice? Now, let's start with one. There are 2 syllables to this word. And how do I know that? I know it because I see it. How would we pronounce the Aleph with a kamatz underneath it? Ah. Yep, ah. And then this is pronounced with the vet and the O and the T. It's got to be vote. So the word is pronounced vote. And remember, the O is pronounced as an O, not in our English like an ot. That's not avat. It's avot, and it means fathers. the plural of fathers. Av is a father. Avot is the plural. Now, for those that have been paying attention to other stuff, you will notice that, hey, wait a minute. You said once before that im at the end of a masculine word makes it plural, so it should be avim. Nope. Avot is a feminine word. So there. Why? Because somebody else did it ahead of us. And it's in the dictionary as a feminine word. That's that. Now, doesn't make any sense, but try English sometime. Okay, ark is actually I'm going to call it the Torah box. What we see right there is technically an ark. Ark of the Covenant was the same thing. And this word is let me draw, can you see this yellow? Does it show up on a screen? Oh. Okay, I don't want it to show up a whole lot. That's the line, so you can see the last letter has a tail that's dropping below the line. Okay, so this must be R-O-N, Ron. This is a nun sophit, the end of it, a nun being an N. Where's that blue? Oh, this one. Okay, this word is Adon. It means Mr. or Sir in modern English or modern Hebrew, Master or Lord. It's used all over the place in Scripture for Master or Lord. So when Jacob's calling Esau master, and it's in our text, he's really saying, sir. It was common in our language to call people sir all the time. You know, go watch an old movie. Yeah. Go sit with Margaret when she watches one of her real old movies. You, sir, are an imbecile, and things like that. It was normal language to use it. It doesn't mean Lord, capital L-O-R-D, although Lord, capital L-O-R-D is spelled exactly the same way. And if you add we'll do that when we get to it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to leave that word off because we don't find it very often. Knows and knew, to know. All three of these words have something in common. What would that be? Why am I pink? The yud, daled, ein is the verb to know. So if I want to say, and the way this is done with the vowels and some of the other stuff, that's grammar rules, okay? And I'm not going to even try to explain it. Now, Yud with this vav, with the O sound, vavim kolam, is yo, de, So you were to see that word in the text, it says, remember we said what Yud was the Y? Yo, de, Yeah? Good. This word is ya, da. The ein's just floating there. Actually, the ein tells you that means know, to know, the verb to know. Otherwise, you wouldn't know that. So it has to be there, even though you don't pronounce it, so that's pronounced ya, da. Ya, da. Now, the yud is right here. We'll get a kind of a, see it? The yud's there, but because of grammar rules, it's dropped. So, actually, but it's not pronounced. Doesn't matter that it's there. The lamed, it means two. It's a prefix. So this is la, da, at, or la, da, at. To know. Why is a mem, so it's ma. This vav with the shruk is an u, so this is do. So that's pronounced ma. Do, or personally, I prefer using a U instead of the double O's. Ma, do, Why'd you do that? Madua. I'm not going to make it go away yet. Madua. So there's another root for a verb here, and that is this or aleph, mem, resh, verb to say, not to speak, but to say. To bear was to speak, yes? We saw that? Session 1? Okay. So we've got the same three letters in this word. So this is going to be the first one, O, mayor. O, I'm going to throw the H in there, okay? O, mayor, says. Past tense of to say. Okay? Omer. Omer. See, now that told me somebody's paying attention. That also tells the people watching that there is a class, a live class in here. I'm not just sitting up here. Okay, this word here has got only 2 syllables, and it's amar. Yes? Do you see it? Again, the verb to ask is, where's Pinky over here? The shin, the aleph, the lamed. Therefore, this word, asks, is a shin, aleph, lamed, and it's only got 2 syllables, so it's show. This is an A sound. Show ale. The aleph is a placeholder for the vowel. Easy? We're really moving along? Okay, so this one's an easy one, too. 2 syllables. Shah. Sha'al. Okay, now I want to start moving a little quicker through the through the vocabulary. I'm just going to cover this word without discussing the details on it. It has 3 syllables. There's a syllable. There's a syllable. There's a syllable. This, okay, it's to work on line 4. To work on line 4, because I want to talk about this crazy vowel right here. So the lamed with the patak is pronounced la. This is pronounced ah. We're going to ignore the shiva right there. We don't need to talk about it or anything. It's just there. And this kolam up here is pronounced as an O. Remember? It's just the same thing as having a vav with the O, with that dot on it. So it's vod. La avod. La avod. Okay. Moving right along down here to line 7. Let's do this first. Must have had that one before. The ein mem means people. By putting this vowel here or this letter at the end, makes it his people. It's a suffix changing the word to a possessive. And this is pronounced mo, which is his people. Now, if we stick a prefix in front of that, to, this is what this lamed means, to, right there, mo, so this is going to be pronounced le. Le amod. It's amo. To, the shiva is pronounced Eh. This word is very important. And the mem, that's not a prefix. It's just part of the word. There's the second part of the word, those two syllables, so it's pronounced me-od. Me-od. Tov ma'od. Tov means good. Tov ma'od means very good. Kelev tov ma'od down here. The dog is very good. And this word is pronounced, for the sake of, is la ma on, or, le ma lema'an. Oh, here we got one in the middle. This is good. This is real good. Okay, this word for. The Aleph, Resh, Bet, Ein. This is where the Shiva is silent. It's not pronounced as a vowel. It's just telling us to pronounce the Resh. Okay? And this is pronounced normally. This is A-H or Ah with the Resh, R. Arba. The Ein is not pronounced, but it has to be there. The Resh is pronounced, the Shiva is not. You can't say Ara, ba, Ara. I don't know how to do that. Arban, Arba, Arba. Okay? More is coming with this later. You don't see that? Arba. That. Arba. Okay? Excellent. We are going to definitely go back over those more. I want to try to get this Aleph-Bet down so that we know our Aleph-Bet. Okay? We're going to go to page 23 now. And we're going to look at the top of the page. It gives us a monstrous list of letters you already know, and it gives us vowels you already know. Beaucoup. But it's adding 2 letters, 2 more consonants. This one is called a nun. Remember our nun sophit? Well, this is the way it's supposed to be drawn if it's just nun. Nun. And nun is an N. Oh. None. That's pronounced nun. We going too fast? Nun. Nun. That's how it's written in Hebrew. Nun. Okay? If that matters. Oh, that didn't help. a gimel. I think it's EL. Yeah. Gimel, and that's a G. Aleph-Bet, Gimel. And they look alike, and they're confused alike easily. So if we went down to line 4, this syllable, so you got to feed the animals, yeah, is go. Okay, go. This is no. Yes, easy. New. What? That's new. Nay. This is ge. And this must be two syllables. How do I pronounce that? Goo goo. Okay? Okay, I'm going to skip vocabulary because I want to cover 2 more similar letters, and we'll brush on a vowel. So we're going to jump way up to page 27. So we have all of our letters and vowels that we already know. Below that, the new stuff is up here. Okay, this letter has a sound. Now, you're going to see it transliterated as CH. It's actually a throat-clearing sound. Like that. Do you know who this guy is? His name's not Bach. His name is Bach. J.S. This is called it's not a chet, it's a chet. Okay? Chet. Word is, it's tough for us to pronounce it without practice. It's best to pronounce it in a word. Baruch. Baruch. This H is a hey. The name of the letter, hey. This vowel is a segol. Yep, that's how to pronounce it. And it's pronounced eh, as in pet. Okay, wait a minute, we just had an eh. Now we got another eh. Yep. Why are there two eh? Because grammar. So the best thing to do is to find some words. We're going to go to page 28. And at line wait a minute. 10. This word, rat cheer, is the one I'm looking at. 2 syllables. There's 1 syllable. Here's the other one. And this is pronounced, this is the chet with a segol. It's pronounced Heh. This is pronounced with Daled with the segol, deh. Heh, der. Actually, it's probably correctly pronounced cheder. But that's the fineness of the pronunciation. Cheder. Yeah, let's try it. Let's leave it at that. Cheder. And it means room. What we're in is a room. We're in a cheder. Okay? Now, I got a couple of other things about that chet. That is, we'll get to it on another page. Hang on. Yeah, we're not going to go any more letters there. I think you guys are getting close to the saturation point because it sure looks like it. Okay, we're going to go to page 30. And we need to look at words. Page 30. Page 30. Top of the page. Now the words are going to really start to make some seriously good sense. So, we're going to deal with a set of words. Right there. This first one, this is a chet, this is a bet, resh, so that's an ah sound and an a sound, so this must be pronounced cha, and then this is a v sound, the vet's a v, a, so this is a chaver. A chaver is a friend, masculine. This is, remember those 2 little dots? We're going to ignore them. The same sound for this chet. We got the same exact letters there. The chet, the vet, the resh, But now we pronounce the end of that a little different. So that's spelled or pronounced, transliterated, cha, ve. Is that too crowded? Is that okay? Okay. Cha, ve, ra. Cha, ve, ra is a female friend. Friend is het, vet, resh. Male, het, vet, resh. Female, yad, he at the end. Maybe that's a rule. It is. So let's look at the next set, boy, girl. So a boy is a yeah. Yeled. Yeah, led. Yeah, led. Yeah? Yeah? And a same three letters, Yud, Lamed, Daled. So we got a Ya. Yal. These two letters go together. Okay? It's as though this Shavah is just not there. But that Shavah is telling you to take the Lamed and join it to the letter in front of it. Yal. Yalda. A boy is a Yeled, a girl is a Yalda. And the letters are the same. Yud, Lamed, Daled. We just change some vowels and we throw in a hey and we make it a girl sound. So, no. The next one is the what do you call you? First person singular? Yeah, okay. First person singular. We're saying, Baruch atah Yahweh, blessed are you. Okay, so for the masculine, it's the Aleph Tav. Says I. So this is pronounced Ah. Atah. And the hey is just there. It also lets us know it's the masculine. Because in the Hebrew scrolls, there's no vowels. So we know that atah means masculine, you, and this is at.
That was reversed. Yes. Does that confuse anybody else? Because, yes, female friend and girl and masculine you?
Did that confuse you?
Yes. Yes.
What did I say about avot? Yes, yeah, is right, Marcia?
Question. Did you just say that in the Torah scrolls there are no vowels written?
The Torah scroll doesn't have any vowels. You didn't know that?
Then how do you know how to read them if there's no vowels?
You have a book called a Tikkun, which shows you the other side, which shows you what the vowels are supposed to be. And you study a lot, and you do all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, but he just finished saying this is a rule that shows feminine, and then it reverses, and no, it's not.
Okay, this is exactly what the Torah scroll looks like. No vowels. Okay?
What are those squiggly? What are I call them flames.
They are decoration. They are there to add another level of confusion. Okay, this is what our particular scroll looks like because we bought this one. It's suddenly Jewish people have decided, there's a lot of people who want to read the Torah scroll. My goodness, why don't we make it easy for them? 3,500 years later, they decided to add the vowels. So this is their additions of the vowels. Otherwise, all of the letters are, they're correct. Yes.
How do they know that that's the correct vowels?
Right. There is places and words that may be two things, two very, very different things, simply by the vowels. We looked at one, the word for uncle is Dalid, Vav, Dalid. Well, you could make the Vav an O, so it's Dode. That means uncle. Or you could make the Vav a consonant, David, which is the name David. So the context is supposed to tell us. Hopefully. The Torah is a tough nut to crack. However, and this is why I do not care to teach how to translate it, because other greater scholars than we will ever be have already carefully translated it and accurately. And they've argued all the fine points and they've got it down correct. If we were to take any good tikkun and you open it up, it looks like that. You have the right-hand side of the page is the text with all of the vowels, and it also gives us verse numbers and so on and so forth because they're not on the Torah scroll. And then the left-hand side of the page gives us what's in the Torah scroll. So I could take this and look these things up and go back and forth on it, or forth and back, truthfully. So this will give us the dividers. It shows us this is a paragraph. It ends right there. This is another paragraph. But some of these things, a paragraph could end in the middle. There's no punctuation in there. No punctuation anywhere. It's hard to read that. That's not our ultimate goal, to translate and read that the way it is. My ultimate goal is, could you pick up a normal Tanakh, the Stone Edition Tanakh? Could you pick up the Stone Edition Tanakh and read it? Yes, that's what we're trying to do. Will you understand all the words? No. That's serious advanced stuff. We're trying to read it and know like that. The Hebrew of the biblical Hebrew is as complicated for us as we would be reading Old English. Not the Middle English of the King James, the 1611, but Old English of some of the 1500 books. Difficult stuff to read, unless you happen to be a scholar. But somebody's already done that for us. We have the books, we can read them, and nowadays we can go online. And we can go to this guy, and we could read Genesis chapter 1. And here it says, in the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim ve'et haaretz. I can read that. Yay! That's my objective. Can you read that? Can you understand it? Maybe not. But you can find somewhere there's another. Oops, come here. You got these guys, this Bible Hub guys. We're going to do an interlinear on Genesis 1:1. So here we got it. We got the in the beginning. So this first word means in the beginning. Bara means created. Elohim means God. Et, aha, there's a whole thing right there. The heavens is Hashemayim. The et is and the earth, haaretz. Somebody already did this for you. So we can go look those things up. I can see every letter. I recognize every letter because I had the basic Aleph-Bet class. I know what every one of the vowels sounds like, and I'm going to put it together, and it's going to take an hour and a half to read that single line, but I'm going to do it. That's it. Sum total goal. And eventually you're going to be floating through something, and you're going to get to, for example, let's go to, Exodus. We'll go to chapter 20. And we might go to, let's say, verse 6. And we're reading right along. Exodus 6:1. That's not right. That's so wrong, it's wrong. 20. All right, let's do this right. Okay. So we read that, and I think the English says, where's the English? I don't have the English. Okay, it says showing, oh, this isn't the NIV. Okay. But in the NIV it says showing love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commands. That's what the NIV says. Love. Wait a minute, I've seen that word before. It's called hesed. I'll look it up. Hesed means loving kindness. Actually, hesed means grace. You see, there's something wrong with their translation. You caught them. And you go find that kind of stuff throughout it. Or you'll discover that I'm going to do a word search on hesed. That's that hesed. Anyway, you go do a word study on hesed and you find out that it was, you did not deserve anything and Yahweh gave it to you because he has chesed. And you just happen to count and there's 251 times it's used in the Old Testament. Wow. That's why you're here. Okay? If you want to translate it, go take the college classes. Wow. I already took one of those. Boring. Worse than boring. Okay. Review. Go back to page 27 and review and review that top header where you got all the new letters and all of your old letters and your vowels. And then review, go through there, go to the words. You know, 26, page 26 is a bunch of words, 28 is a bunch of words, so on and so forth. Go to those words and look at them. Don't try right now, don't try to remember the vocabulary as much as pronounce the word. Break it apart in its little itty-bitty pieces. It's just a bunch of syllables. It honestly is not as hard. It's no worse than studying other languages that use different letters. Greek is just as hard, got to be. Letters are weird. How about Russian? The letters are weird. or go to French. The letters are the same as we have, but they don't get pronounced that way. They're pronounced all weird, real weird. Yes, ma'am.
So, is the entire vocabulary and its meanings in this book?
The entire vocabulary.
Well, shield, to live, our fathers, camel. Is there other dictionaries?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So this book is primarily the ones that we use in books, or is this random?
They're words that the writer of this pamphlet or book decided to use as examples of the consonants and the vowels.
Okay, so it's not like there's more frequent usages.
No, they didn't do that. However, if you go to page, and we will do this one, I guarantee it, page 40, there's this gorgeous song called Ein Kelohenu. And this, we will know this. Or if we went to page 47, there are things that, we've done this. We've done the blessing before reading the Torah in Hebrew. There's some songs based on biblical verses. Hinei Ma Tov. The Shema's in here. So is the Ve'ahavta in here. We're going to do those. Those are things I want to get to. Those are things that we hear enough as a song. The Shema, you know it as a song in your head. Matter of fact, if you're reading it in the words and all of a sudden you get lost, your head's got to go back to the first part of the song. Now, I know none of you do that with the ABCs. Baloney. Everybody does it. I got out of order. I don't know where I'm at. So you go back. But because we know a lot of these from songs, it's real easy. Singing is easier to do than memorizing poetry. I could memorize a song, but I can't memorize. I can hear a 1965 song in the grocery store, and I got the next verse, just like that. But if somebody read me a poem that I was supposed to memorize when I was in high school or something, okay, we're wasting enough time. Avenu Melkenu, our Father, our King, we praise your set-apart name, Yahweh. We thank you for this wonderful, beautiful language you gave to us. We know it is the language of our future. Help us learn it. Help us use it. We pray always in Yeshua's name. Amen.